expiration date printed on the box. And the reason they say that is because the FDA will only let them put a 1-year shelf life on this. But they already know it will last at least 2 years. You do keep it in your fridge. Do keep it in your fridge. But I've used it when it's been almost a year expired, and it still worked.
Can you just get that at the grocery store?
Oh, these are so hard to find. I'll tell you. Kitchen needs, but they're $6.99. They are $3.99 at Whole Foods. $3.99 at Whole Foods. What's that? There's enough to do 6 batches of yogurt.
No, I meant cultures. Like
oh, you know what? They don't list all of the cultures on here. Let's see. Oh, yeah, this one does. There's 3 in this one. Now, if you go to Cascade Fresh, that one has 8. That's the one I found that has the highest amount of cultures.
If you freeze it, like yeast, or put it in the freezer, will it last longer?
You know, I don't know for sure, because I haven't tried that. But a year in my refrigerator plus an additional year, I mean, if you make yogurt, you'll go through that pretty quickly. But I think if they freeze-dried the cultures, I can't imagine freezing would hurt it. But I personally have never put it in the freezer and then tried it afterwards to see if it works. Cascade Fresh. I can only get it at Whole Foods. It's a yogurt.
so it's just a yogurt.
It's just a yogurt. It's just a yogurt. Yeah.
They have it at all the health food stores.
Yeah, Pyridos might have it. You can get Brown Cow now, like at Harmon's and things. It's getting more popular. Now, what you want to remember is that you never use a flavored yogurt. You always have to use a plain yogurt when you're making your yogurt. But so once you have your yogurt, now the longer you let it incubate, the more sour it will get. Now, sometimes my yogurt I'll take out, and when it's hot, it'll seem to be a little liquidy. It really thickens up as you put it in the refrigerator, which you have to do. So after you incubate your yogurt, put it right into the refrigerator. That's the most important thing, and then let it sit, and it will continue to thicken up. So you can get yogurt done in as few as about 4 hours. I really like it at about 8 hours. It's really nice and thick, and I wish I had my little thing of yogurt, but you can imagine it just looks like regular yogurt. But I really like it. And there's so many things now you can do with yogurt. So not only do you have yogurt from your powdered milk, think of all the recipes, the yogurt pancakes. We have a yogurt chicken we like. Look at how that opens the door. Now, we're going to take it one step further and say, now what can we turn this yogurt into? Because there are some really cool things that we can make from our yogurt that's made from our powdered milk. So my favorite thing to do is make what they call yogurt cheese. I use it exactly like cream cheese. Now, when you're done with your yogurt, and it's all refrigerated, now this is one that you'll want to see. You get a strainer and you'll line it with a cheesecloth. And then if you get a strainer that has the little hooks on it, then it will sit on your bowl like this. Because it's going to drain. When I put the yogurt in here, it is just billowing. It is full and billowy. So then I get a paper towel that's wet. I just put it over like that, and I just let it sit in the refrigerator for like 3 days. What happens is it's going to drain all of the liquid out, and the liquid is called whey. Now, whey is actually very good for you. I always toss it. My cute little daughter, you know how when you see yogurt and it gets liquidy? She drinks it. And I was thinking, what are you doing? My mother will take it and throw it in liquids that she uses for soups or different things. It's very good for you. In fact, it's very high in acidophilus. So once you do that, you'll just put it over. Now, I think that's not going to drip. Look at this. Look at this, what it's done.
So it's about the consistency of cream cheese.
Yeah. Now, the longer you let that sit, I mean, you can see what I've done. That's my yogurt that is now the consistency of cream cheese. Okay, now when I put it in there, it's really watery and yogurt-like.
Is it still sour, kind of?
It still has a little bit of a sour taste. You know, depending on how long, it will really depend on how long you've let it incubate. I noticed that it will take on that same flavor. Okay, look at that. Isn't that great looking? I mean, now, if you've got cream cheese,
That's a cheese.
yeah, it's just that cheesecloth, you know, it's just one of these. I think I got it at Walmart. Cheesecloth. Yeah. Okay, now look at the door you've opened. If you want to make cream cheese. Now, if I put a whole quart of yogurt in here, it gives me 13.4 ounces of cream cheese. So not quite 2 blocks. Now, you just have to look for just a minute at what has drained out of that. That is what's drained out of that liquid. That is the whey, and that's kind of like a curds and whey. That's exactly right. Okay, did you get to see that? That's what's drained out of my yogurt to make it thick. Now, when we tried these and said, okay, how does this taste comparatively to cream cheese? Well, they didn't taste quite the same. They had the same texture. But what we were missing was the sodium. So I calculated on the cream cheese how much sodium 1 block had, and to use it like cream cheese, I had to add the sodium back. And it's like a full half teaspoon. It's like it was 2.57 quarter teaspoons. So that's just over a half teaspoon. But I just put in a half teaspoon of salt. Because that will give you a more comparable flavor.
From the quart?
When I do a quart of yogurt,
You add a half.
well, no, I add a half a teaspoon for a block of cream cheese, which is 8 ounces. So if I need a block of cream cheese and I want to use my homemade, I get out my scale and I add 8 ounces, and then I know now that is comparable to a block of cream cheese, and I add a half a teaspoon to the cream cheese that I've made. Okay, now look at the door that you've opened that you can do with your cream cheese, or that you can do with your powdered milk. Now, this I left in for about 3 days. This one has not been in quite as long. Now look at the consistency of this one. Can you see? Can you see how that's not quite as thick? This one's been in about 2 days. If you only leave it in for a few hours, you can get a remarkable sour cream. Remarkable. Now we're going to say, now what do we do with this? I'll show you what the things we can do with this. Now, at the very end, I'll tell you because we need to start wrapping up. At the very end, right now, we'll serve these. They have cream cheese, sour cream, and sweetened condensed milk. One of these is made with everything store-bought. One of these is made with everything from powdered milk. Now, I'm not going to tell you which is which until you've all tasted it and you all put in your guesses. But that's just so you know. I mean, and really, from looking at them, and they baked the exact same. They acted the same. Their reactions, everything. Now, there are so many fun things to do with this cream cheese. Okay, now, you know what, that's kind of a lot. Okay, the 2 things that I'm going to do with the cream cheese tonight, this one that's a little less. Now, please note I've added no salt because I really want you to taste it exactly like it is. So this one, I'm going to put in here. We're going to try and make it look a little bit pretty. It won't matter because I'll show you what we're going to do with that in a minute. Okay, and then this one, we're going to just mix in a few things. So I'm going to put in a little basil. We're going to put in some Italian seasonings. We're going to put in a little garlic salt. We could put